Good afternoon from Houston, Texas, United States of America. This is Smart Mado Ajaja, the convener of Open Nigeria and Africa Unite, and the anchor of Nigeria Now at ONN, and the Nightingale Radio International from Houston, Texas, United States of America. How are you doing, Africans? How are you doing, Nigerians? How are you doing, friends of Nigeria and Africa from across Africa and around the world? Please permit me to read this thing out for the benefit of especially the young Africans who are taught everything but the true African history. For over 1,500 years, Imperial Europeans and Arabians have been stealing African mineral resources in their rawest forms to build their own economies and create opportunities for their own people while leaving Africa and Africans devastated, jobless, impoverished, hopeless, and imperiled with the help of generations of their pre-colonial African collaborators and later their African puppets as post-colonial African leaders across the African continent. That a great number of Africans still don't get this piece of history enough to inspire them to stop allowing Africans with colonial mentality from coming to power as African leaders is most troubling. And the reason countries like Nigeria have been stuck with its worst as leaders. It is time to flip the page and move Africa to its promised land with a new generation leading the charge. This is the main issue right now at the forefront of the African discourse. You are a young person watching me. You are a true African who understands this piece of history. Where do you stand in the struggle of Africa? Why is it that Africa, with so much natural and mineral resources, has the poorest people in the world, and of the poorest people, the poorest of the poor are found in Nigeria? They are found in the north of Nigeria. Yes, for the most part, the north of Nigeria contributes over 90% of the poor people in Nigeria. Now, isn't it time for us to ask ourselves one question? Why are we stuck this way? Why can't we do something differently? For 64 years of our country's independence, we have remained stagnated, essentially because of our country's tragedy of leadership, which you, me, and all of us contribute every time we are given the opportunity to make amends. We make this crisis worse. Yes, our country is overly taken over. Let's not be so nice talking about it, because this is true. We think that what is happening in Nigeria, do we think it is normal? That some people will wake up, go into a village, violently attack the people in the village, dispossess them of their homes, burn down their homes, sack them from their lands, and occupy those lands. And nobody is held accountable. Nobody is prosecuted. Their masterminds are never touched. Even though we know them, and even though they serve in governments, even though they sit illegally and illegitimately on thrones across a section of our country. How come that there is nothing anybody can do? Why is it that our armed forces have become so dysfunctional that they cannot take on these offensive mercenary forces that have surrounded our country? We see them every day. They fight us with sophisticated weapons that the Nigerian army does not have. Even the army has lost its operational capability to do anything because this virus is inside our armed forces. And here we come, talking about a coalition ahead of a distant 2027, when millions of our compatriots are being either slaughtered or displaced from their abodes. What kind of a people are we that we cannot unite and fight our common enemies? Yes, our common enemies. This is so sad. In Nigeria, we are now fond of saying that last year was better. Last year was better than this year. And even as horrible as this year has proven to be, it may be better than next year. And I would think that true citizens from this country should now be thinking and working hard to come together as one to combat this evil. Yes. This is the preamble of what I'm going to say. We have some people building a coalition ahead of 2027. When the matters arising from 2023 have not been resolved. We witnessed a terrible election in Nigeria. Regardless of how much money was invested to bring up an election that we will be proud of, the INEC could not say or cannot say that they were underfunded to carry out an election that we will all celebrate. Everything was sailing smooth until the moment they had designed to strike. And before I go further, I want to tell you, me and all of us who are Nigerians, prior to this election, looking at the build-up to this election, nearly 100 million people registered to vote. But on the voting day, how many people showed up to vote? Those who did not vote, you are unpatriotic. Those who did not vote, you are a huge contributor to the darkness we are facing right now in Nigeria. And so you should bury your heads and faces in shame. You had an opportunity. You don't understand that as a citizen of Nigeria, that you are a stakeholder. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not a sole owner of Nigeria. Atiku is a stakeholder like you and me, down to the newest baby that was born today. And if we are stakeholders of Nigeria, or if we are stakeholders in Nigeria, constitutionally, morally, in terms of civics and spiritually, we have a duty to defend our stakes. Now I ask you, Nigerian watching me, a question. What did you do with your stake in Nigeria? Did you defend it when it mattered most? Are you defending it right now as we speak? Are you defending it by keeping quiet? Thinking that there are some people designed to make Nigeria work and not you? What are you doing? How did you vote in the last election? Yes, you have a right to choice. Did you compromise your right to choice? Did you sell your vote? Did you on purpose vote for the wrong person? Someone that you know is not qualified to do the job. Did you vote because of religion? Or you voted because of tribal orientation? How did you vote? Do you understand that your vote is spiritual and so must not be tainted with anything that makes it, that contravenes it, the importance of it? What did you do with your vote? How did you process your vote? How did you manage your vote? How did you use it? Now there are consequences. How do you feel today about the way Nigeria is right now? Are you happy? Look at your environment. All right? Look at the roads next door. Look at the hospitals in your place, if there is any actually, or the healthcare center. Look at the elementary school in your place. Look at the high school in your place. If you are in an urban area, look at the public university, the College of Education, the School of Nursing in your place. Are they best equipped? Do they have 24-hour electricity? Do they have all that they need to make teaching and learning happen? Yes, so how did you vote? Do you know that voting is supposed to bring the best? Like when we play soccer, we love soccer. We love Super Eagles. All right? When we go out there, we are going to take on South Africa. Now, what do? Don't we do everything to recruit our best so we can win? Yes. And when they lose, who do you blame? You start blaming the coaches that did not make the right selection. That they benched, for instance, they benched J.J. Okocha because he was one of those stars in those days. That even if he's sick, we want to see him play because of the confidence we have in him. And don't you think that is the same thing we should apply to the issue of leadership in Nigeria? Yes. Why should we have a president that is a drug dealer? Why should we have a president that is a certificate forger? Why should we have a president that is an identity thief? Why should we have a president that is incoherent, that is not mentally balanced, and that is somehow physically not agile to be able to do the job? So why did we sideline those who meet all these criteria for a man who the only thing he has is money that we are not sure about the source to buy up everything? And then you are calling him Jagaban or Atiku, who stole so much from Nigeria. Yes. And now lives in Dubai. He only comes home every time there's an election. And once the election is over, he strolls out and go. Look at what Dubai is. We all talk about Dubai, Dubai, Dubai. Who made Dubai possible? Remember the Dubai we are talking about was the vision of one man, a leader. He thought about Dubai. After he envisioned it, he put men and women together who can act on his vision. And they went to work, piece by piece, little by little, patriotically assembled Dubai to make it a synosure of all eyes. Yes, the dream of a man. Where is that dreamer in Nigeria? Is that dreamer in Atiku? Is that dreamer in Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Yes. Where is that? Where is that person who can make it happen for the people of Nigeria? Atiku was vice president of Nigeria for 8 years. He was given the responsibility of privatizing state institutions that are not working. What did he do? He gathered his friends and cronies, sold everything to them. Tell me anyone that is functioning today. Tell me anyone of those institutions or government public institutions that are functioning. Yes. Tell me, NEPA, is it working for you? Yes. And all the other things. So, and we did not question him, how he did it. You remember the Halliburton scandal? Yes, involving him and an American lawmaker. You know what America did to that lawmaker? You see, one good thing about America, if an American, you go outside America to mess up, and it comes to the public domain, they investigate and find you, they will prosecute you and send you to jail. That was what they did to Congressman Jefferson, Atiku's cohort in the fraud, yes, that involved the Halliburton. But what did you do to Atiku in Nigeria? We rolled out a red carpet for him. He has contested 3 presidential elections since then. Congressman Jefferson went to 13 years in prison. Yes. And lost his right to be elected or to elect anyone. He can't vote and he cannot be voted for anymore. You see the moral bankruptcy in Nigeria. Here is a Nigeria where somebody will come because he has so much money. He will unalive the poor. And then the police will take sides with him. They will destroy evidence and he will not be found guilty. Look at all the business people in Nigeria, what they are doing, the bank owners, exploiting Nigerians. Every transaction you make, even when you do not make transaction, you put money in a Nigerian bank, they'll be taking the money every day, instrumentally, until your money is gone. And nobody is regulating them. It doesn't happen here where I am. They don't charge you per transaction. No way, it doesn't happen. But it's happening in Nigeria. And there are lawmakers that are supposed to be regulating these institutions. Are they doing that? No. Because they are corrupt and morally bankrupt. Yes. So how come Atiku and they don't do that? You hear them say articulate. Articulate to what? To where? For what? What has he brought to the table of Nigeria outside ripping the country off with every opportunity he has? Do you know that Atiku had a multi-million-dollar home in Potomac, Maryland here that he had to sell and run away from the United States when the FBI was closing in on him on the issue that involved Halliburton and his friend? Yes. Yes. Atiku can now come to the United States. The only time he tried to come when he was running a presidential election, I think the last one, the one before 2023, he came in a Saraki's diplomatic bag. And then he had to hurry and run away when they were about to grab him. So is that man that you want to put position as your president? Especially at a time when everything is falling apart. Nigerians are being murdered everywhere. And Atiku does not say anything. Remember what happened in Sokoto? Deborah Yakubu who was murdered by Islamic extremists. They murdered her and burned her to ashes. Atiku condemned it for a second. Before the next second, he deleted his tweet. Yes, because some people told him that it would harm his political career. He deleted it. You think a man like that will stand for you, ordinary Nigerian from anywhere in Nigeria? He will. He will turn his back on you. He's not a man we should trust. Yes, he's not a man we should trust. So someone like that is not a man the people of Nigeria would trust, should trust. They have been murdering scores of Nigerians everywhere in Nigeria. Boko Haram have been destroying Nigerians. Fulani bandits have been destroying Nigerians in the east, west, north, and south. Have you heard any one statement from Atiku Abubakar? Have you heard him? Atiku Abubakar is a member and one of the backers of Mieti Allah, a terrorist organization. So you Nigerians, you are not scared of that. They are the ones masterminding terrorism in Nigeria. And then he wants to paint this picture of himself as a nationalist. Nationalist? Really? When things are happening in our country, you don't say anything? Are you aware that Atiku is a tribal nationalist who pretends to be a nationalist? You remember what happened at Urumi just last month here? Yes. When some people who claimed that they were hunters, yes, hunters will travel nearly 1,000 kilometers to the Niger Delta to hunt. Where there are hunters, thousands of hunters already, what are they hunting? And then some people with intelligence, perhaps intelligence about what they were doing, trailed them until they stopped them at Urumi. And a fracas broke out. And the mob action took place. A nationalist, Atiku, a nationalist. Rabiu Kwankwaso, supposed to be a nationalist. And the rest of them from the north of Nigeria. Yes. Who never believe in Nigeria. You see, they don't believe in Nigeria. That was when Atiku rose up and was threatened. That was the time. Now, he needed the Nigerian security agencies to work. But all the other ones, when they murdered Deborah Yakubu, when they murdered Usman Dauda in Sokoto, within a space of 6 months, Atiku said absolutely nothing. Saad Abubakar did absolutely nothing. Aminu Tambowa did absolutely nothing. These people are treacherous and should never, ever, ever, Nigerians, you hear me, should never, ever be allowed to lead Nigeria. 10 out of Nigeria's 13 leaders, 10, we are either from that place that they call North, that I know is dead. There's no more North. North is dead. When they tell me about this North, I start looking for it. That they use this North to threaten Nigerians. They use this North to harass Nigerians. Yes. The North is gone. Where is gone? Where is the North? Jigawa, Sokoto, Zamfara, Kebbi. All those Norths are no more Norths. They are gone. All right, so when they talk about this North, I wonder where the North is. We are talking about one Nigeria. You are telling me about North. So we have a problem with that. And that to tell you that this man is divisive. Anybody who comes with the Northern mentality is divisive. And is most unfit to lead Nigeria. We are looking for people who love Nigeria. People who are willing to die for Nigeria. People who are willing to stand up for Nigeria at all times and in every situation. Those who are willing to speak the truth about Nigeria and not selectively. Yes. So those people who come to Nigeria, to the duty of Nigeria with northern nationalism are no good people that we should entrust the destiny of our country into their hands anymore. And Atiku belongs to that group. El-Rufai belongs to that group. Rabiu Kwankwaso is in it. So all of them should be trashed politically. All right? Atiku is about 80 years old. What is he still trying to be? Be Nigerian president. Why is Nigerian presidency so important to him? He is gone. So that was why I read this intro about what has happened to Africa for 1,500 years and even more. Yes, we put our country in the hands of those who sabotage us for the benefit of imperial powers. They give them a little bit of drops of oil, and then they become... Ask Atiku, why does he live in Dubai? Why is he not living in Nigeria? He has houses all over the world. But right now, he was living in the United States until America busted him. Now he returned to Dubai. Why? You should ask him. If you're a young Nigerian today, ask Atiku, what are you doing in Dubai? You had the opportunity of making Nigeria into a Dubai. You did absolutely nothing. You made so much money from privatizing Nigerian state companies. And then you are here telling us you want to be a president. On what ideology is going to rule Nigeria or lead Nigeria? He's an old 80-year-old man. I would think that he should retire and go and tend to his grandchildren. That's what he should be doing right now. He should familiarize himself with his so many grandchildren. He has children all over Nigeria, mostly political children. He will go and be making Nigerian women pregnant all over the country because he wants to pose this picture of a nationalist. That is bullshit. So Nigerians trash Atiku. Again, this is a build-up to our major broadcast coming up on Saturday at 6 p.m. Nigerian time. That is 12 p.m. Central Standard Time here in Nigeria. So between now and then, I'm going to be talking about the principles of this dead on arrival coalition. Yes, that is supposed to be wrestling power from a drug dealer, certificate forger, and an identity thief, paired with a terrorist with ties to Boko Haram. We don't need any of them. So what Nigerians need is a coalition of true Nigerians, those who love Nigeria, who have demonstrated it and have shown capacity to be Nigerians. We are tired of being recycled, in the hands of recycled people. We are tired of them. So there are millions of able-bodied, young and articulate Nigerians who can do great things, who can bring us with speed to that level where Dubai is. Yes, in a record time. So not Atiku, not El-Rufai, and not Kwankwaso, and not any of them. Now is the moment. So if you are watching me, you will see a link. Yeah, at the intro of this broadcast, you will see that link. That link takes you to channel 1 at ONN. Click on it, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification button so that when it starts happening, you will be one of the first to be notified about what is about to erupt in Nigeria. Nigeria is in a dire emergency. We cannot wait. You hear me? I'm saying it emphatically. We cannot wait until 2027 to stop the massacre of our people. By the time, if we don't do anything now, by the time we get to 2027, there may not be any eligible voter who will vote Bola Ahmed Tinubu out. So what we need to do now is a coalition of Nigerian people from the east, west, north, and south. Coalition that respect no boundary of religion and tribe. Yes, a coalition of true Nigerians. We build this critical mass of critically conscious patriotic Nigerians to take down the Nigerian system and set the captives free. That is what we represent. So for you to be part of what we are doing, join us at Open Nigeria. You can find Open Nigeria at on Facebook. Take that very first step. Go on Facebook and then look for at Open Nigeria Now movement, or just look for at Open Nigeria. Once you see when you see Open Nigeria, you're going to see a banner that says Stand Up for Nigeria. Stand Up for Nigeria. Okay, join to be a part of it. You should not end it by just joining. Join and bring your brothers and sisters, friends, aunties and uncles to be part of this great brewing movement. And that's the only way, because the oppressors don't like numbers. So when we create this massive number of Nigerian people who are willing and really ready to take down the Nigerian system and set themselves free, Nigeria, all the mountains in Nigeria will start giving way. I love you guys. I look forward to seeing you. Thank you very much. Bye for now.